Well, hello everybody, it's me, Bishop Stan, and I thought I would take a couple minutes. I may come back and actually make a more polished video on the idea of free will. Ever since I was a kid, I think that this idea has been misused and probably because it's misunderstood. Free will talks about your moral culpability and moral capacity. That is really what the discussion of free will is about. Now, when I was a kid, people were saying all the time that God set Adam up. God caused Adam to sin. I was watching a rabbi, a Kabbalistic rabbi who's very popular, talking about how Eve determined that God wanted them to eat the fruit, and that Mormons called this the Great Fall Forward. I think Masons even had a similar idea that they got from that. And that it actually was an advancement of humanity for Adam to sin. But there's a kind of a paradox. If God wanted Adam to sin, Adam didn't sin. Adam did God's will. Not doing God's will or choosing to leave the path of God's will is the sin. So in the Garden of Eden, Adam saw that the fruit was good for making him wise. But he had heard the devil actually blaspheming God through implication. So the devil had implied that God needed Adam more than Adam needed God, and that God was holding back on him. And so Adam entered into the sin of parity. The sin of parity. This is a key word that comes from the Cappadocian Fathers. Maybe some other people talked about them too. But the idea was that Adam was going to try and establish himself on equal footing with God. So what happened is that Adam ended up replicating the sin of the devil. I will build my thrones higher than God's, etc. So those are all things that are really things that Sennacherib said, but they're attributed also to the devil. So the idea of moral culpability is what this is all really about. That you have a potential to be moral, but that you choose not to be. And then that is what the sin is. It is not that you are some sort of neutral free agent who does whatever he wants whenever he wants, which is actually what Satanism is. So in Satanism, and they have a big Satan conference right now, Satanism is all really about you determining your own life, your own way, doing what you want on your own steam, apart from God or apart from anything else. And so I've even heard there's a strain of the charismatics that seems to be fairly deeply involved in occult ideas. Maybe not occultism, but occult ideas. There was a guy I was working with back when I was around 18 or 20 at a golden oldie radio station that I was at. And he said, well, man is like a universal power source, and you can get power from God, but you can get power from... Now, that's called sorcery. That's witchcraft, and it will destroy you, by the way. God has offered you a better way of life, a better mode of existence, true knowledge, and true revelation of himself and the world and yourself. There's only really one time you can ever be equal with God, and that is when God tells you, I love you. Because you can respond by, who cares, I hate you. That's really the only time you're equal. You do not have the same potential for moral culpability as God does. God recognizes who you are and what you are. He also knows the true condition of your heart. He knows if you're trying. So you can be trying and failing. That's very different than not even caring, right? Not even caring is the worst thing. That's really the worst thing as far as your relationship with God. You just don't care. You don't care. You don't want to hear it. You don't want God to be involved. That is the cold heart. So back to free will. Free will means that you are morally culpable because you can do it. You are morally culpable. I mean, if you're just a puppet sitting on a hand, like some ventriloquist dummy, what's there even to judge? Well, that's it. Thought for the day from Bishop Stan, Archbishop of the Apostolic Church of St. Thomas, an ancient and apostolic church. Well, leave me your comments down below. Was that eye-opening for you? Did you learn something new? Something you didn't know? Did you already know it and I was just wasting your time with a live broadcast? Do you like me doing live broadcasts? Let me know what you think. I'm going to get back into the more production-oriented video soon, but I felt that I should talk about this right now. So here we go, and stay godly.